They ran, across shattered stone and blood-soaked sand, through screaming civilians and battling guards. The arena had become a slaughterhouse. Steel clashed. Monsters shrieked. The smell of smoke and burning flesh filled the air. Shadowfang darted ahead, eyes fixed on the jammed gate. Ogblock thundered forward behind him, shield raised. Eldrelon's hands crackled with gathering storm. Dalamar's fingers twitched with barely contained eldritch force. Jojo, pale but determined, kept pace. They were close. Then the sky above them tore open with leathery wings. 4 spined devils slammed into the sand in front of the gates. Barbed tails lashing, jagged spines bristling across their hunchbacks. Behind them descended something far worse. A towering, winged horror. It had a long serpentine neck, a hooked razor beak, and talons the size of short swords. Its wings beat, scattering sand outward in a violent shockwave. Its eyes locked onto them with predatory intelligence. No way around. Shadowfang didn't hesitate. Through them! Ogblock roared as he charged straight down the center, shield high, sword raised, drawing the devils exactly as planned. They swarmed him immediately, claws scraping against his shield, barbed tails whipping at his legs. Eldrelon thrust his staff forward and unleashed a bolt of crackling lightning, striking one devil in the chest and hurling it backwards in smoking ruin. Dalamar followed with an eldritch blast, purple force slamming into another devil and blasting it off its feet. Jojo whispered and sharp incantation, psychic energy lancing into a devil's mind. It shrieked, clutching its skull as blood trickled from its ears. Shadowfang blurred into motion, vanishing low, reappearing behind a devil, daggers flashing. He struck its joints, precise and surgical. For a moment, it worked. Then the winged leader moved. It leapt skyward in a single powerful beat and came down behind them, targeting the back line. Its talons raked across Jojo's chest, tearing through leather and flesh. He screamed and hit the ground hard, blood soaking his tunic. Ogblock tried to turn, but the remaining devils piled onto him, claws scraping. One barb punctured through his thigh, another tore across his back. Shadowfang spun and launched himself at the winged horror, blades flashing for its throat. But it glanced off its scaly hide. Not invulnerable, but far tougher than expected. The fight fractured. Ogblock stood alone in a storm of spines, shield ringing with impacts. He planted his feet and swung in a brutal arc, cleaving one devil clean in half, black ichor spraying across the sand. Dalamar stepped in beside him, blasting another devil point blank. It disintegrated it into a burst of crackling force. Jojo forced himself upright, vision swimming. He reached out with his mind again. It crushed the thoughts of the final spine devil. It collapsed, twitching at Ogblock's feet. But the leader screeched. The sound was unnatural, piercing, and layered. The shockwave of it stunned Eldrelon, Jojo, and Dalamar, dropping them to one knee, ears ringing, vision blurred. Shadowfang and Ogblock didn't hesitate. They charged. The creature's beak snapped forward and clamped down on Ogblock's shoulder, teeth puncturing through armor. He roared in pain, but instead of retreating, he grabbed hold of the creature's neck with his free arm. No! He held it in place. Shadowfang exploded into motion, climbing up its back, daggers plunging repeatedly into softer flesh between its wings. Blood sprayed. The creature shrieked and twisted violently. A talon caught Shadowfang mid-retreat, raking across his back and tearing him open. He hit the sand hard, gasping. The stunned casters shook free. Eldrelon hurled a storm-charged blast into its chest. Jojo sent another psychic spike into its mind. Dalamar's eldritch force hammered it again and again. Still, it would not fall. With a violent heave, it flung Ogblock across the arena. He skidded across the sand, armor dented, breath gone from his lungs. Then it dove, In one terrifying sweep, its talons cut down Jojo and Eldralon, sending them both crashing to the ground, unmoving. Dalamar barely rolled aside in time. It turned on him next. This time, there was no space to dodge. Dalamar braced, claws descended, and struck steel. Ogblog stood before him, shield raised, feet dug into the sand. The impact drove him to one knee, but he held. Shadowfang reappeared behind the creature again, blades plunging deep into its flank. Still, it would not die. The air shifted. A green-black mist poured from the creature's maw, thick, choking poison. Ogblog and Shadowfang inhaled it and collapsed, gasping, vision darkening. Dalamar staggered backwards, alone now, lungs burning. With the last of his strength, he lifted a trembling hand and unleashed one final eldritch blast. It struck square in the chest. The creature staggered, but it did not fall. It lowered its head and prepared to charge. Dalamar fell to his knees. Above him, the sky had changed. The deep crimson storm had faded, light now breaking through the clouds. He closed his eyes, then silence. He opened them. The creature stood frozen. A thin line appeared down its center, and it slowly split in two. Behind it stood a towering humanoid figure, radiant white wings, a long gleaming sword in hand, holy light pouring from it like sunlight through glass. The poison cloud evaporated. The presence filled Dalamar's mind. "Leave now." No voice, just certainty in his mind. The being vanished as suddenly as it had appeared. Dalamar did not question it. He crawled to Ogblog first, placing shaking hands upon him and channeling what little power remained. Divine warmth flowed through Ogblog's wounds. Ogblog surged upright and immediately turned his holy energy outward, healing Jojo, then Eldralon, then even Shadowfang as he staggered to his feet. No words were exchanged. They ran.